Hi there, Simon from simonwoods.com. Portugal, red wines, yes. White wines? Well, I've done some Vinho Verde in a couple of videos recently, but I haven't got any Vinho Verde here. I have got one labelled Beiras, one labelled Dow, one labelled Douro, and one labelled, is it Alentejo or Alentejano? Alentejo. What's the difference? We'll get onto that when we get to wine number 4. But we might as well start with wine number 1, because that's as good a place as any to start. And wine number 1 is Luís Pato, Vinho Regional Beiras. Beiras is a region that's below the Douro Valley, above Lisbon. The main bits of it are down Bairrada, but this is probably all from the Bairrada region. But Luís Pato, one of the top winemakers in Portugal, isn't a fan of the way they organise the denominación, so he labels it under the regional bit rather than the more local bit. Anyway, 12%, grapes Cecial and Cecialino. Give it a whirl. Smells like it's going to be full-flavoured, medium-bodied, and which is the way round I like it, rather than the other way around, full-bodied, medium-flavoured. So there is an almost honeyed, minerally character that reminds me a bit of maybe some bits of Semillon in Australia, but not so much the Hunter Valley Semillon, not the Margaret River Semillon, but Barossa Semillon. It's 12% alcohol, so on the lighter side, but it feels like there's a rounder, more ripe pear character that's there in the middle. Apples as well. Yeah, it smells like it's going to be good, clean and fresh. And there's this exotic musky character as well. Maybe bordering on things like guava. And there's a touch of ginger maybe. And yeah, but this is freshness of fruit. It feels quite weighty. The pear, the apple, the mineral. It's a really good, clean finishing wine. I do like that. Could drink a lot of that. But I can't, because I've got to do wine number 2. Wine number 2 is Boas Vinhas Branco from the Dow region. So grapes here are Encruzado and more of that one Cecial that was in the one before. Now there's a pine resin-like smell that comes out of here. It almost smells like Retsina. It's got a touch of that pine and then the citrus and peach behind. Intriguing, and I'm pretty sure that they won't put it anywhere near any pine barrels or anything like that, but it's probably the stuff that's in the air, and some oils have settled on the grapes. And when you taste it, whereas in Retsina the pine takes centre stage, here it's this plush fruit, maybe peach, pear, apple, and then something richer, getting into that maybe some of the passion fruit that's in there, and then the pine is sort of out there on the edges, not playing a major part, but just content to play second or third fiddle. Maybe if I've got a problem with it, I'd like a little bit more freshness and zing on the finish. So that I got that on the first one. Here you get rounded, rich flavour, and then and it doesn't actually tail off in terms of flavour, but your mouth's left feeling just slightly, it feels a bit flabby. Like the flavours, but would like a crisper finish. Let's see how we get on in the Douro. So this is Vinha de Urze, U-R-Z-E, and it's from the cork, tells me it's made by Kahn. And so it's Marks & Spencer's, they've done it for Marks & Spencer's, and it's a Douro. Interesting that this is 2008 vintage. Older vines. What does that mean, old vines? Well, the problem is if you're in the Douro Valley, when you're trying to work out what goes into what makeup is your wine is it 20% this, 30% that, you're presented with this vineyard which over the course of several generations, someone's planted something and they planted another bit here, and some bits have been replanted, and you get these vineyards which can on red wines they can have as many 35, 40 different grape varieties, so they just put old vine blend or field blend on some of them. This is the equivalent for the white. The light herb and mineral character. Fruit-wise, it's what people call stone fruits. Not that maybe the peach. It's on something that's a bit finer, nectarine, apricot. Yeah, it feels like it's going to be quite precise. Alcohol is 12.5%. I think they went 12, 13, 12.5. But I thought I'd do this here because it's 2008. and that mineral character carries on when you taste it. But problem is, it's I'm not sure whether they should have sent 2008 vintage. It feels like the wine is a bit tired. It's lost its perkiness. There's still a little touch of that apricot and peach fruit, but yeah, it's lost the spice. It's lost the spikiness, and I want a little bit more perky flavour. Reserving judgment, because I think I should have had a younger one there. Final wine, Quinta do Quetzal, Reserva Alentejo, and grape here as Antal Vaz. And if they hadn't used the grapes that would be permitted for the Alentejo DOC, they would have labelled it Vinho Original Alentejano, which I was referring to earlier. Well, one of the things it says on the back is Fermentado en barricas novas de Carvalho francés y americano, so fermented in French and American oak, and that's the character that you get dominating the wine. Smoky, toasty, rather pungent, yeah, a slightly excessive oak for me. I did a video recently and in which I did Vinho Real Rioja, I can't remember if it was Reserva, but the white Rioja from Vinho Real, and I was saying much the same thing. I wish they'd have done a little less oak. This is a year older than that was, and if the oak's still poking out now, I'm a bit concerned about it. It may be that it's just been opened and the oak will diminish and the wine will come to the fore as it expands, but for the moment oak is a bit too dominant. And I like those lemony coconut characters, but that sweet vanilla from the oak is just punching it and pushing it too much, and yeah, just a bit over the top for me. I wish that there was yeah, it would be really good to compare it with an oaked version of that wine, because I think of Antal Vaz as being a grape that's got a little bit of freshness and aroma, and here beneath all that oak it gets rather buried, which is a shame. Favourite, Luís Pato, and but that's what Portugal can do, and it can do far more than besides these ones. But I enjoyed the Luís Pato, and I think that's the one I'm going to have a glass of now. See you soon.